Greetings, everyone. It's Brandi Lynette here of Manifest Prosperity, and I am at Kingdom Cafe today with STREETFAME TV. We have a special guest here who I have the pleasure of interviewing, Cintoria Franklin. We are here to talk about her new book, From Emptiness to Overflow. Guys, let me introduce you to none other than Cintoria Franklin.
Hey, how you doing, girl?
I am fantastic. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm blessed.
Good. Let me tell you, I'm loving how we are coordinating on today. That's like, this is not planned at all, and it just looks so great. So I am excited about this conversation. So I did look you up. Okay. I had to do my homework, so I had to know what I need to come, ready to talk about.
Okay.
And so I come to find that you are a hairstylist, but you are so much more than just a hairstylist.
Yeah.
You are like a community advocate in so many ways.
Okay.
And I want to kind of touch on that on today in many different ways. But first, let's just talk about, just introduce us to who you are. What do you want us to know about Cintoria?
Well, about me, I am born and raised from Chicago, Illinois. I came down here in 2000. I came down here with the aspect of building a relationship with my mother that I didn't see. I didn't see her for about 3 years. And so I wanted to connect the dots back with her. So that's the reason why I came to Nashville.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I noticed that when you did come, you went to school right away to learn how to do hair. That was like a part of your reason for being here as well. I didn't know there was a backstory to it.
Yeah.
So that's good to know.
Yeah.
But you have many, many accomplishments. So after having those accomplishments, having those mentors that you talk about in your bio on your website, and those people who pour into you, which I know what that's like, it's great, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
But what prompted you to finally take that information that was given to you and pour it into this book and tell your story?
So the reason why I had to write this book, because I found myself journaling. I was journaling since I was 15 years old, and it was important to me to write my thoughts down. Mm-hmm. And I always knew that I was going to write a book. I always felt that. Yeah. And I think the beginning stages was because of the journal. That was my outlet to express the things that I was going through, that I was experiencing in life. One of the huge things that I was dealing with was not being able to see my mom and, just to have that mother and daughter relationship. So I think one of those things that encouraged me to write this book was to know that I was going to speak our situation to life, that one day I was going to meet my mother. And doing that transition, I knew that I always wanted to be a hairstylist.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to sit in salons in Chicago when I was a young girl, just watch the hairstylists just rock some hair. And the culture of hair is a little bit different in Chicago.
I know it. I'm from Cincinnati, so I get it. And listen, I remember going to the hairdresser 7 years old up until forever before I moved here in 2000 myself.
Right.
And like you said, the story of being in that salon, getting your hair done, watching the ladies come out, just that every 2-week ritual is important.
Yes.
So.
It is.
So, okay, I want to get into this book, and there's a couple of reasons why. So we connect on a couple of things here today. Okay. So that's why I want to get to this book. So you are an advocate for domestic violence. Yes. For bullying. Yes. And for suicide prevention. Mm-hmm. Am I missing? I think there's another one I might be missing. So
basically, in all one group is just basically focused on mental health. Okay. Basically, it all collides with the same. This is a battle of a lot of things that I dealt with. Yeah. Okay.
So, I want to talk about the domestic violence part. I don't know how much you want to talk, and I don't want you to say too much because I know the story's in the book, but this is my reason, okay, why I'm pulling on it. And a lot of people don't know this about me, so I lost my mother when I was 6 years old. So you talking about not having your mom in your life at one point. I know how that feels. My mother was murdered when I was 6. Okay. And it's all good because I'm a wonderful person because of a tragic situation. But all that to say was because of domestic violence. Okay. And that's something that's near and dear to me because of that experience. Right. And so I love that you are willing to tell your story to empower other women because we need that. It's so important. And you never know who you're protecting or helping because you are deciding to put your story into a book and share it with the world. Yeah. So what pulled you to just have that courage?
So It wasn't an easy process to write about my story, first of all, because it includes everyone that was involved in that picture. So you know that's not an easy choice to make.
For sure.
But I had to make that decision because I had to tell my truth. And I had to heal from some things. In order for me to do that, I had to bring out some things to bring a healing, you know.
Yes.
And so domestic violence was always involved in the picture. I didn't want it to be involved, but for that reason, I tell people a lot of times I wasn't taught self-love. I mean, like I wasn't taught a lot of things to the aspect of how to build Cintoria.
Yes.
So I took on a lot of things. Also, I speak about codependency due to codependency. I always try to take the burdens of other, partners.
Yes.
And then I found myself being in situations that I didn't want to be in, but because I felt the need that I had to be there, I just dragged along. I dragged myself along into that pain, and it became so deep to the point that I had to pray my way out.
Yes.
And it wasn't an easy thing. It lasted for years, some of them, So I always tell it's a cycle.
Yes, it is.
I wasn't just in, it wasn't just one relationship. It was actually 3.
Okay.
And so those are things I keep it vulnerable. I keep it real. Women, we go through it. Men go through it as well.
Yes.
And so I just tell my truth in this book in the aspects of healing and helping someone else to heal.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. All right, so we talked about a lot today in this little short time, and I thank you for, again, just this opportunity, saying yes.
Yeah.
Just being a little transparent with me, with all of us out here today.
Yeah.
So I want you to let the audience know how they can keep up with Cintoria and what's going on with the book, and how they can get that as well.
Yeah. So you could contact me. I have 3 platforms. One of them is Pastor Beauty. That's my nonprofit. You can contact me. Pastor Beauty is known for doing the domestic violence walk and a lot of, advocacy outreach programs. We do the adult prom. We do the domestic violence galas. The next platform you can reach me is SelfLove with Cintoria Franklin. I do a lot of advocacy work there as well with women. Of course, you can order my book at www.cintoriafranklin.com and email me at selflovewithcintoriafranklin@yahoo.com.
All right, guys. So thank you all again for being a part of today's show, meeting Cintoria Franklin. Thank you for being our guest.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Street Fame and Kingdom Cafe. You guys can keep up with me. I'm Brandi Lynette on all social media platforms, and that is also my website, I'mBrandiLynette.com. Peace and love, you guys.